forsaken booth. The truth is you sadly mistaken proof. I'm better than layman shoot. I'm super.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. I know this seems like a little bit ridiculous. Like, why are we doing even ROH pay-per-views? Like, what's the point of this? ROH is dead. And I think like this is a very interesting thing because this is the trampoline that leads into Final Battle. And because I usually do Ring of Honor events, I don't really do the weekly TV anymore, but the events I do. So let's talk about Honor For All, which aired, I believe it was the 14th of November, 2021. I caught the replay. I don't remember what day it actually aired. I had to work that weekend, so I couldn't tell you. It might have been the same day as the AEW pay-per-view, but it went under the radar. And because, most sites don't even talk about Ring of Honor. But I ended up finding out that it was even existed because one of the matches got spoiled for me. But didn't matter because, I watch ROH for the wrestling, not to see who wins and loses. I'm not. So, we know that Ring of Honor is in a lame duck session. And this means that they're pretty much gearing up to put titles on the people that they want to have the Ring of Honor legacy. Because this almost feels like Ring of Honor is not coming back. And there was a couple of promos, especially one in particular by Matt Taven, that made it seem like Ring of Honor is not coming back at all. So who knows? But this was an empty arena show. So they're paying talent and not bringing nothing in. It is November 2021. AEW is back to full crowds. WWE is back to full crowds. Impact is back to what they consider full crowds, or as many people as they can shuffle in that sumbitch. They're getting as many people in the building as they possibly can. They're paying people to be there. They don't care if they have to mask them, bag them, drag them. They're getting them in the building somehow on Impact. And here it is, Ring of Honor still having empty arena shows. What are you doing? What are you doing? In any event, let's go through this show. Tracy Williams was defeated by Tyler Rust by the omoplata submission hold. This was a Pure Rules match. The Josh Woods replaced Jay Lethal in the Foundation on the November the 12th episode of maybe it was the 15th. It's hard to tell when those episodes of Ring of Honor TV go up, but I did watch that episode before I watched this show. And Jay Lethal was asked politely to leave the Foundation after he was exposed by Vincent of the Righteous as being a guy who doesn't really like the Foundation. I don't really like the Foundation. So now they replaced him with Josh Woods. Josh Woods is in the Foundation now. Perfectly fine, perfectly understandable. Plus, we know that by this point that Jay Lethal is actually being signed to AEW. So they just had to replace him to have a 4-man group. And Josh Woods is a good replacement. Tracy Williams being submitted, so what? Tyler Rust winning, probably not a good idea in 2021. The second match, women's number 1 contender, fatal 4-way match. Vita Von Star, Holly Dead, Trish Adora, and Quinn McKay. Holly Dead defeats Vita Von Star to become the number 1 contender to the ROH Women's World Title. And you know what? That's not my favorite decision. It should be Quinn McKay. I think that they've done a good job of building up Quinn McKay as an underdog babyface and really getting people behind her in terms of sympathy. And they've done the old dangling the carrot and yanking it away story with Quinn McKay so many times that I think if she was the last person to, wrestle for the title against Roxy, it would have been fun, It would have been a great little story to tell for her, who came from being the announcer to possibly, finishing up Ring of Honor as world champion. That could have been a great story arc. And she had a hell of a story where she got beaten in a tournament and she found a way to get back in and she still lost again, but she kept fighting and she kept scratching and she becomes the number 1 contender. And then she gets the big match. And I personally would probably, if Ring of Honor is done and she's not coming back, I would have Quinn McKay win the title, just to finish it up. Because she's been the most visible face of women's wrestling in Ring of Honor for the last 2 or 3 years. and they've been building her up as the announcer, and you just finish her story arc. But giving it to Holiday, I don't know why. The Briscoes defend the GCW Tag Team Championships, which means no rules, and a no disqualification match against Effie and AJ Gray. The Briscoes win with the J Driller. Not a fan of Effie and AJ Gray. I don't know, man. GCW, I have a hate okay relationship with it, where sometimes I'm like I can tolerate GCW, other times I can't. This is one of those times where I just wanted to see the Briscoes, so I was cool with watching this. It didn't get too crazy. The Ring of Honor is not that kind of promotion. So they broke a couple of tables and hit each other with some stuff, but it was nothing bloody and nutty like it would be in GCW. Brody King was defeated by Jonathan Gresham. Brody King talked about, Gresham was going to have to kill him in order to stop him. He wants to be the number one contender for the world championship. And that, violence is the answer to the question I guess nobody asked. But it's the answer to, honor. Honor is real, violence is honor. There's honor in violence, which has always been their sort of their motto in his group. So Jonathan Gresham talks about the violence versus the pure. This means everything to him because this is the number one contendership for the Ring of Honor World Title, and he absolutely must win this match. And the first thing you'll notice is that Jonathan Gresham is the size of one of Brody King's knee pads. I mean, the guy is the size difference is tremendous. But Gresham is very well built. He's stacked for a short guy, and he works a technical style. But it does look weird sometimes when, you can just lift this guy up by the back of his neck and swing him around in a circle like Brody King can. And, he's got to do the job. Especially when, Gresham is hitting him with hammer fists in the face and elbows to the chin. And the finish is just a running elbow to the head. It's kind of like, all right, this is a realistic finish. Somebody ram their goddamn forearm into your skull. That would keep you down for 3 seconds. Realistic. Just seems very weird. And Gresham is the right guy. If Ring of Honor is going out and it's about to be done and it's not coming back, Gresham is the right guy to put the belt on your way out the door. To that point, Jonathan Gresham announced, I think shortly after this thing aired, that he's starting his own promotion called Terminus. And it's going to be a grappling arts promotion. So that ought to be very interesting. And I knew somebody was going to do that. It's inevitable. Whenever somebody goes out of business, somebody from that talent roster usually starts their own company. And Gresham being the guy who says, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna start my own promotion. I'm okay with that. I am 100% cool with it. I want to see how it turns out, and I want to be able to. I don't know if I should going to support it. I want to see how it looks first and what it's going to look like. Is it going to be like Bloodsport, which it kind of sounds like to me from what I heard, the scant information that I heard about it? Made it sound like it's going to be like Bloodsport, where it's going to be like subs or knockouts or something like that. But it's also, you said it's a grappling arts thing, so it ought to be very interesting what they decide to do with it. So I'm interested. Now the match that did get spoiled for me was the OGK, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett defeated La Facción Ingobernable, Kenny King and Dragon Lee. So this match was essentially a history lesson in Ring of Honor. So the OGK, of course, talked about their time in the Kingdom, and this is what they've been waiting for. This is what they reformed for. This is the legacy. And that you got to fight for who you are. And then Matt Taven says he's going to win the tag team titles and put them on his mantle and remember Ring of Honor and walk away from this place feeling okay. And I was like, is he never coming back? Is he retired? Is he never coming back? Now look, I ain't got no problem with Matt Taven never coming back. But I'm saying he's talking like Ring of Honor is in the ground, buried, dead. To that point, so was Kenny King. Kenny King was talking about, when he was tag team champion, wrestling Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, these two guys were shining up Adam Cole's belts and boots and shining his boots and stuff like that. He's always been a top guy. They've always been beneath him. And Dragon Lee says that, you know, the OGK are the past, they're ancient, and La Facción Ingobernables is the present. So they did a great job here. And I'm glad that even though I saw OGK with the belts and that kind of spoiled it, the finish was actually pretty good. Bestio del Ring, the father of Dragon Lee, tried to interfere with a chair. Out comes Max the Impaler. And I was scratching my head like, what? Max the Impaler is a female, by the way. And she's very ugly and big. And she came out there to sort of back him down. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I didn't remember it until I saw Amy Rose. And that Amy Rose came out there. She is the manager for Max the Impaler. And she was the ex-girlfriend to Kenny King. She had been kicked out of La Facción Ingobernables months ago. And I completely forgot about that. So basically they tied that loose end up by having Amy Rose be the reason that they lost. And then, of course, Amy Rose smacks Kenny King, and that was a great ending. You know, because I completely forgot about the Amy Rose La Facción Ingobernables thing, and it was nice that they plugged that hole up. That was pretty good. I got to give them credit for that. They did the old emotional thing with the OGK and how emotional they were to win the titles again. You know, it's Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, so you might as well have just thrown them into, you know, if Timmy is down at the bottom of the well, you might as well throw the Ring of Honor tag team titles down there. They're about as much use to him and down stuck in the bottom of that well as they are being around the waist of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. The main event was, I'm about to call him Bushido, Bandito versus Demonic Flamita in a no disqualification match. Flamita and Bandito have been feuding for quite a while now after the fall of Mex Blood. And this was the final match between the two, I'm guessing. This was non-title. Bandito was the world champion. This was non-title. Bandito says that you want to fight me for my mask, you want to fight me for my title, you have to prove to me that you're worthy. And so he says, you wanted this no disqualification match, you got it. And their matches have always been really good. You know, they haven't been having traditional lucha matches either, where they just fly all over the place. They've done a little bit of that, but they've also had pretty much traditional American pro wrestling matches with a lot of chops and, you know, occasionally some lucha stuff thrown in. Flamita is defeated with the 21 plex off the second rope, I believe it was. And so he will not be getting a title shot or a shot at Bandito's mask. He will likely probably be the reason Bandito loses the title, though. So this is very good. So the main event of Final Battle was set up. It is Jonathan Gresham versus Bandito. And likely Jonathan Gresham will end Ring of Honor's run. He's going to end as the world champion, which is, you know, the right thing to do. So if you're interested in the latest episode of Ring of Honor TV, that is also up. And it features The Righteous versus The Foundation in a 6-man tag match. The Righteous being Vincent, Dutch, and Bateman versus, I think, Tracy Williams, Rhett Titus, and Jonathan Gresham. Pretty solid match. And I'm not, just in case you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it, but that is where Vincent exposed Jay Lethal. And I guess that's when they decided to write Jay Lethal off TV. He didn't get beat up by the Foundation, but they did, you know, scold him and send him to the back as he was trying to explain himself. They were like, no, we don't want to hear it. Go to the back. Just get out of here. So, Ring of Honor continues to chug along. They had a pretty good show here, you know, despite how the card sounds. You know, some of the matches really delivered. You know, Brody King and Jonathan Gresham was a fun match. I got a kick out of the OGK versus La Facción Ingobernables. I'm a big fan of Dragon Lee. And Bandito and Flamita was really good too. And of course it's always good to see the Briscoes. So, you know, not much. You know, if you didn't see it, you didn't miss anything. But it's leading to Final Battle. And it might be, I think, the last roadblock before we get to Final Battle, which is going to be the end of the run of Ring of Honor as we know it. Sad to see. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.